Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as promised, I'm going to chat about my second natural birth. So I had the first one with Lily. I talked about that. So if you want to see that video, click the link above. If it's not there, sometimes if you're on your iPhone, the link's not there, click the link below and I'll have it in the down bar down here somewhere, down there. So, Isabella, that was the easiest natural birth I've ever had. Since I've only had two, I can really only compare it to my other one, but it was the easiest one ever. Like, this one just kind of sailed right through, but I definitely was that woman. I definitely was that person that got rushed in the door in my wheelchair, and they like busted me through those doors. I think Chris was pushing me, or someone was pushing me, and we made it right through, and I was like, oh my God, because I was at a hotel where we were staying at the time, waiting for our house to be built, and I was like crouching down pushing, and I was like, I'm gonna have this baby any moment. Like, I was literally ready. The night before, I had told Chris, I was like, I feel like I'm kind of like in labor, but I can't really tell. You know, like, it's just weird when you're pregnant. Like, I don't know. I just couldn't really tell. I couldn't really tell because it had been so long. I was exhausted. I couldn't really tell. My body was tricking me again, trying to be like, you're not having a baby today. Anyways, so the next day, I told Chris, I was like, well, I need my nails and my toes done and my eyebrows done because I don't want to look a hot mess when I go in. I don't want for that poor midwife to have to deal with the craziness going on everywhere. That didn't happen. We ended up rushing into the hospital because for this one, again, like I mentioned in the last video, to always hire a doula. If you're going to do a natural birth, any kind of birth actually, doulas are really, really useful. So I call my doula, and she's like, well, how are you feeling right now? I was like, well, I really just want Chris to be quiet, and I want the lights to be turned off, and I really want to just get in the bathtub. I think I told her that. And she's like, you're in labor. Because it had been so long that I think she just kind of tapped into what I had told her in the past at how I feel when I'm in labor and yada, yada, yada. So we finally make our way over to the hospital because I told Chris, I was like, let's just go. I think I started pushing in the car, and I was like, I seriously can't stop pushing. Like, my body was starting to do the work for me, which is a good thing. When you get to that point where your body's doing it for you, it kind of takes the pressure off of you to have to constantly push with every contraction. Oh, and let me share some maternity pictures with you. I'm sorry these videos are a little unorganized sometimes because I kind of just do it like spur of the moment and when I can get time to do these. So let me share some pregnancy photos with you. My friend Ray did those, Ray Wade Photography, and I will post her link down below if you guys want to go see more of her work. She was an awesome photographer. She did my birth, she did my maternity photos. Oh, that's what they're called, maternity photos. We finally get there, and after pushing in the car and calling my doula and all that, we finally get to the hospital, and Chris is all happy because he's like, thank God it's not 1 a.m. when you're having this kid. Like, it's actually like a decent time, like in the middle of the day. Like, Chris like rushed me through the doors in my wheelchair, and like, our friends were there, so they took over Lily. They like hung out with her while I literally gave birth in just a matter of a few hours. So we finally get in the hospital room. I was like, you know, where's my photographer, where's my doula, and where's my husband, and I need my midwife, and that's about it. So I had all those people lined up. We were really prepared this time. I was packed this time. I never ended up getting my nails, hair, and toes done, and eyebrows, so I felt so not sexy. But I guess it really doesn't matter, especially when you're about to give birth. So we finally get in there. My photographer was right next to me, and I just started doing my thing, and I swayed, and you know, it honestly was a very easy birth. Like, I cannot even tell you. So I literally just pushed for a few hours, I think, probably even less. And finally, Bella kind of came down on her own, and you know, they were kind of like, let her sit for a second in the birth canal so she can kind of get things to where they need to go. I'm trying to not make this so entirely graphic. Just kind of make it the size it needs to be so she can come out comfortably. And I don't have to deal with any like repercussions of pushing her out so soon. So they did that, and then I looked down, and my midwife's wearing like this huge like round mask that was clear, but she was like ready to catch the baby. I think it was just in case anything went crazy, like splattered everywhere. She was prepared. That girl was prepared. And so Bella finally came out, and she came out perfect. It was such an easy birth. Like, I'm telling you, after your first natural birth, you're kind of prepared the second time you go in. Like, okay, this is what it's like. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. Am I in labor? That's still kind of questionable to me, just for myself, just because I'm like, my pain threshold isn't that great when it comes to pain anyways. So any pain at all, I kind of freaked out about. So sometimes I would just kind of be like, no, you're just being a little dramatic. Calm down. So Bella finally came out, and she was a big chunky baby. She was super cute, and Chris was there, and you got to cut the cord. You got to catch her. I just got to put Bella skin to skin with me, and I got to hold her, which is really awesome. And then afterward, they checked her white blood cell count, and it was a little low. So they had to take her back and kind of do a couple things on her. I had Chris go with them. It just kind of freaks me out to have the girls, when they're so new, to like be taken to another room. So Chris usually will follow if they're like, hey, we have to run him out to do a couple tests. And the doctors or nurses or midwives or whoever's usually in there, they're usually really cool about it. So so I really liked that. But she came back, and we bundled her up, and I just held on to her, and I really enjoyed that moment that I got to share with Chris and with Bella. So Lily actually, me and Bella actually spent the night at the hospital because her white blood cell count was a little low. Lily actually came the next day, and I dressed them the same because her aunt sent her and her Lily and Bella both matching outfits. And I dressed them both the same, and it looked so cute. But Bella was still so new and not into it at all. And I think that Bella was just a huge blessing for our family. She kind of just put the cherry on top. Dula brought me a bunch of snacks, and I'm talking like good snacks. She brought me like this huge basket of food and snacks, and it was all natural snacks, and it was just good food. Me and Bella stayed a few more nights just to kind of make sure her white blood cell count got back up to par, and it did. And I think it was an amazing birth. I think that experience really empowered me as a person. That is part 2 of my birth stories. So you've now heard both of my natural birth stories. What do you think of natural birth? Do you want to give natural birth? Are you curious about it? Are you not even planning on having kids, but you just kind of want to know more about natural birth? I don't know. It's not as horrendous as some might think. So I'd love to hear your comments below, guys, and I'd love to answer any questions that you may have. I hope you guys watch more. Yes, I'm a very random person. I know I post videos on random days. I talk about random topics, but I promise you there's something here for everyone. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.